Hi, Julia Blatt here. Now, your top priority as a parent who wants to get a flexi school agreement in place is to get that yes as quickly and easily as possible from your child's school. And that's what I'm going to help you with today, because I have one strategy that I use with parents no matter what their reason for using flexi schooling. Now, you might be feeling that inner conflict and emotional struggle when it comes to making the decision to send your child to school every day within an education system that you believe is inherently broken. Or you may well think your child is just too young to be in full-time education at 4, 5 or even 6 years old, and this might be your reason for wanting to flexi school. But you have to look beyond your ideological and philosophical reasons and focus in on your child as a learner. Why will a flexi-learning arrangement benefit your child? And how will this impact them positively when they are in school? The very nature of flexi-learning, and I prefer to use this term rather than flexi-schooling, necessitates a collaboration. You are making a proactive choice to work alongside your child's school to empower them to be the best learner they can be. And it's your job at this stage to present a proposal to convince your child's head teacher. Remember, if you've made the decision to have your child in school, the head teacher is accepted to take on overall responsibility to you and your child to help them grow as a learner. Now, you may not like how broken our state school system is, but that is a different issue which we can look at elsewhere. Right now, if you want to collaborate with your child's school to remain an active educator during the school week, then you need to find a common language through which to communicate. We have to ensure you focus in on them as a learner and what obstacles currently stand in their way of reaching their truest potential whilst learning in school. So you have to present a strong case that will show that by having your child out of school for 1 or 2 days, you're actually going to increase their learning capability back in school. Now, I've thought through the common learning obstacles that we've seen in close to 1,000 children now that I believe most teachers would also recognise in children too. And these are fear of failure, underachieving or not reaching their potential, coasting, unable to fit inside the box, and low self-esteem and anxiety. So whilst you might be seeing your child come home from school every day feeling bored, frustrated or even angry, or you might be seeing their own passion and creativity being crushed and they're starting to lose touch with what makes them uniquely them, what we have to do is look deeper at what's going on here for your child as a learner and isolate the obstacle that's standing in their way. And when it comes to flexi learning your child in collaboration with their school, you need to put on a different hat. You need to think as a parent educator in this role. Your child's school has a responsibility for them as learners, and you are requesting to share that with them in a more formal agreement than as a parent whose child attends their school full time. Now, this may seem like a subtle difference, but it's a big paradigm shift for both you and the school. It's this shift in mindset that you need to make before you approach their school, because you're also trying to shift their mindset too about what flexi schooling can do for your child. You want them to see it as a unique opportunity, which it is. So you need to be really clear which obstacle might be standing in your child's way most. For me, when I began my journey into flexi schooling and becoming an educationist 10 years ago, my daughter was coasting. She had started reading before she started school, and so it felt like the brakes were put on her learning and reception. As she had to slow down to the pace of everyone in the room, she became increasingly frustrated and angry. Now, I wasn't interested in hothousing her or having her move up through the levels, but I definitely wanted her to continue to lead her learning, as she had done for the first 4 years of her life. I wanted her to remain that hungry learner she had been since she was born. The fact that she was already achieving academically within a school setting meant that her school felt confident that 1 day a week would benefit her, especially as she was summer born and so emotionally very much still a 4-year-old. More recently, for my daughter now in year 10, I've used another strategy that's become relevant, and that's not fitting in the box. I've used each of these strategies to help parents get flexi school agreements in place, which led to very successful outcomes for both the child and the school. So I know it can be daunting when approaching your child's school, and you need to give yourself the best possible chance by choosing the best strategy for your child. Can you see how different this is from going in and requesting flexi schooling because you think 5 days a week is too much, which I definitely felt when my daughter was 4. It's even different from saying I want my child to attend forest school, because chances are the teacher would like all their students to attend forest school, but unfortunately this is not an opportunity. So going in with these reasons are setting up the wrong conversation from the offset. So now you've identified which strategy you're going to go in with, what are your plans to help resolve this issue surrounding their learning? If you get this right, this is an amazing opportunity that you only have once. My daughter is now 14 years old, and because I know what I know, she's able to continue to flexi-learn within her secondary school. And this is empowering her at a time when many of her peers feel they have no choice because of exams. And in fact, she's being given more freedom and independence than she had in primary school. I want you to be able to flexi-learn for as long as you and your child want, and that means providing tangible evidence that your time with your child is having a positive impact back when they are in school. So how are you going to structure your time? Now, when I say structure, I'm not talking we'll do writing at 10, some maths in the afternoon and be outside from 11 till 2. That's not the kind of structure I mean. But you've identified an obstacle that's standing in the way of your child, and you need a plan in place for the trial period. What strategies have you in place to help your child move through, up and over their obstacles? How are you going to document their learning? How are you going to present your case to extend flexi-learning across the entire academic year, or even right up through until they leave school, as my daughter is currently doing in Year 10? These are just some of the questions that you need to think about if you're choosing flexi-learning as a way of collaborating with your child's school.